Hello. You're gonna have to excuse this jank setup. I tried to do it to where I was actually facing front of the camera, but my mic is not picking up very well. And if I hold my mic, it has all this really annoying background noise of it being moved around. So you're gonna have to deal with this if you even watch. But today I just wanted to rant about some new energy machines or energy producers that have been invented in recent, I want to say years, because I'm pretty sure at least some of these have been around for a bit of time, but I'm just learning about them, so they're new to me, and I think they're pretty cool. I want to preface that I don't think, I don't know, I'll talk about it when I get to it. But the first one that I saw, this one is a couple of years old, I think. It was that kid that was making fuel from plastic through this combustion, which I'm pretty sure he. Hold on, I might have written it down. Mm, nope, no, I didn't. But I'm pretty sure it is. He heats up the plastic without any air being inside of it, and that's the main way he produces the fuel. Now, this is just for fun, but I'm going to say I searched it up. On average, like I think it's like 2 to 4 people in one household. They use about 30 kilowatts an hour of energy per day. Um, so I'm pretty sure that means just. I don't think that's like a 30 kilowatt per hour thing. I think that's like a whole unit of measurement. So it's not 30 kilowatts per hour. I think it's the entire day is 30 kilowatts an hour, which well, now I'm saying it out loud doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm sure you understand. You're smart, probably. But the new plastiline energy, uh, it produces apparently about the same as a normal gallon of gasoline, 36.65 kilowatts an hour, roughly, which is pretty cool. Um, uh, some of the upsides that I've seen about it would, it would put like a better place to put trash, basically. So there'd be less trash in like landfills. Probably not by like a large margin, especially since it's not a commonly used practice right now. Um, and I'll get into why later. And the energy cost. Oh, wait, no. Okay, we're going directly into the cons because I'm pretty sure that's. But but apparently I saw that the gasoline, or I guess plastiline that he's making is able to fuel like high end cars, which I guess they use like have to use high quality gasoline. I don't own a high end car, so I wouldn't know exactly. But some of the cons that I've seen is that the energy cost of making plastiline can sometimes outweigh the energy fuel it would provide, which is not really what you want when you're looking for an energy source. But it is a good way to like not just throw trash. So I guess in a way it's kind of just like it's more of a cleanup method in that way instead of like an actual energy output. One thing I did see that was a little concerning is that it could trigger explosions should air somehow be introduced during the process of it making plastiline. Um, you know, it's not great. I don't think there's been a reported case of that yet because I'm pretty sure it's just that kid that's been using this technique. Assuming there's not other small people using it. Um, and it requires you have to clean all the plastics and stuff before you put it inside the machine because contaminants could ruin the final product and the machinery. And right now, it can't currently make more than like a gallon a day, which is not great in the grand scheme of things. But then again, I think that is under the assumption that it is still just this kid using it. I'm saying kid, but I'm pretty sure he's an adult now. So overall, for that one, I would say that it's not really a good replacement for anything right now, except for it's just a good way to clean up some stuff, which is nice. It's always nice. So I'm gonna say, you know what? At the end of these, I'll say whether or not I think it'd be a good idea to run like a home on it. I don't think it'd be a good idea because you don't. One, you'd have to have a generator. Two, you'd probably spend the entire day making fuel to power your house, which is not what you want to do. I don't think. So it has potential. I'll say. I'll say as someone who knows very little about it. And then another thing I saw was China's new wind turbine. I'm pretty sure this is that big blimp thing. Um, because I know South Korea's got one too, but not the same as China. But I'm pretty sure this turbine that they're making, they like put it all the way up in the air like a hot air balloon kind of, and since it's so much higher, it's like there's less like. Well, I read this in an article. Take with a grain of salt and correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw that less birds might die from running into the word wind turbines, because it's up there and it's not like down here. I'm guessing birds don't fly up that high consistently. I don't know. That is me just repeating what I saw on an article. That could be completely wrong. But this new turbine of China's produces about 273,972 kilowatts an hour of energy per day. I don't know if that is a single one or multiple, but I'm pretty sure they've only tested one because I know this turbine that they're making has like it's one big thing, but it has a bunch of actual other turbines inside of it, and that's what actually spins and makes the energy when it get hits by the wind. Um, right now, I don't know of any cons, mostly because I think they just tested it not too long ago, so I didn't find anything on it. But one pro is that it takes less material to make, like 40 to 90%. And I'm saying 40 to 90% because I've read two different things that said like one was 40%, one was 90. So I'm putting 40 to 90. I even wrote down conflicting reports if I end up showing that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It would, you know, be out of the way, but I feel only thing I'd be concerned about is like the just being so in the way, or like maybe I'm stupid, but like planes and stuff. I would assume they wouldn't put it near airports, but some people are slow, or it's like thunderstorms. I don't know how it would fare against those, or I don't know. I guess we will have to see when more information comes out. And then this is one of my personal favorites, the wave generators. I don't know who made these or who's actually using them right now. Um, but they generate between 2,400 kilowatts an hour and 9,600 kilowatts an hour of electricity per day. And if you remember correctly, the average household uses 30 kilowatts of hour, 30 kilowatts an hour of energy per day. It's so confusing. I have to look at what that means. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Obviously, it wouldn't be usable in like any place besides like where the ocean is, because like lakes aren't as rough as like the ocean waters, obviously. So it wouldn't be the same. But put simply, the wave generators would it would be very very good for because I don't know. I think they get directed right into the grid. I would assume so because I don't know how you would connect that to an individual house. Uh, so I won't. I guess I can't really base whether or not you could use this to just at home. But I mean, if you had a really rocky bathtub, maybe. Big one too. Oh, I guess you could put it in a pool. Like put it in the pool when you're not using it. But then maybe I don't know if generating electricity would electrify the pool or not. But pretty cool. The next one is my favorite. Japan's sidewalk kinetic energy, or Japan's sidewalk that generates kinetic energy. Basically, they have this thing where they put it in like bustling cities. Well, it might just be in one. I think it's in Shibuya, where you walk and it generates about one or 0.14 to 1.4 kilowatts an hour per day. Now that is not a lot. That's not enough to power um, the house. Like you definitely won't be able to power that with you just walking around your house or like a dog, unless you had a really really energetic dog. But that would just they're mainly used to power like local signs and like small things in the area where they are. Um, so they're not all that useful for homes, I guess, and you could say. but they are pretty cool. I won't lie. I guess I maybe if like they were able to somehow get more energy out of them, they could be used around the house. But the way they're used now, I guess, saves them from spending energy on these like signs you see in the cities and stuff, and are directed into the houses. That sentence barely made sense. I'm sorry. Um, Damn, it's pretty cool, but it's my favorite. But it is pretty useless when it comes to um, giving power to households. I guess it just, like I said before, in a really bad way. It it provides the power for the stuff that's not really necessary, so that the households that need it can get more of it. And then this last one I have here is the South Korean wind turbine. Another wind turbine. This one isn't floating up in the sky or anything. It's a I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's like no matter which direction the wind is going, it will always be able to spin, which is really really cool. Um, I'm sure it's been made before in some other smaller way, but it can produce about 72,000 to 86,400 kilowatts an hour per day. I don't know if that's an individual one or if that's a bunch. I would assume that's like a bunch of them and a couple. But the one I like about this is that you can actually just put this like on your roof or just somewhere close by your house where it's windy or even on top of like business roofs and stuff. Same way you can do with solar panels, um, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think this would be a very good way to like get power your house and have all that cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah, because the average household uses 30 kilowatts of hour an hour of energy per day. I don't know what the hour thing is, I'll be honest. So I would be very excited. So in the ideal house, you have the backup generator or the thing that's making plastic energy just in case there's an apocalypse or something to generate it. You have a big turbine in your neighborhood from the China's one that's just in the sky producing energy. You have the wave generator. You have a big pool. You put it in your public pool, generate electricity that way. Just have a bunch of kids playing around in it, assuming it doesn't electrify the water, which I don't think it would. If it's producing energy, it would be energy would go somewhere else, not into the pool. Yeah. Then put your sidewalk. Put like the kinetic, sidewalk. The kinetic sidewalks. I'll call them that. The kinetic sidewalks that Japan made inside your house and all around, especially on like your driveway or like on the road. That would produce a decent amount. And then put one of them Korean turbines on your roof, and I'm sure you wouldn't even need the grid anymore. Assuming that's legal. I don't know if it's legal to disconnect from the grid like that completely. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me rant and making no sense the entire time. Bye.